Welcome, everyone, to this afternoon's conversation, and happy Women's Equality Day. I'm going to first start with a quote that says, "You and I, as citizens, have the obligation to shape the debates of our time, not only with the votes we cast, but the voices we lift in defense of our most ancient values and enduring ideals." And that was President Barack Obama when in his inauguration speech in January 2013. And a year ago, I personally was full of hope for the election in November, and I was just sharing with someone that they asked me if I was still with the US Department of Labor, and I said, well, not exactly. I was a presidential appointee at the Department of Labor, and when there is an incoming president, even if that is a president of your own party, you resign, you send a letter of resignation with the date of when you plan to leave government. So when I sent my letter back to the liaison at the White House, I said I was leaving at 11:59 a.m. on January 20th, 2017, and not a second sooner. Because no one was gonna chase me out. Although, because the current occupant was intending on saying that he was working at 12:01 that day, they were vacuuming my office as I was signing my paperwork. And I know that was personal because they kept apologizing to me. With that, I think today there are many issues that are at the forefront of our lives and impacts our neighbors, our families, young people everywhere. We're gonna have some rich discussions about that. You know, what are the issues that are impacting us? What are the strategies? And you'll hear that more in our roundtable conversations. But first, we're going to begin with something positive to present an award to Rose Aguilar, the Princess Leia Award, for her work as a progressive journalist, author, and radio host from San Francisco. So please welcome Rose Aguilar.
Thank you.
Princess Leia. Oh my God. She's a lifesaver.
Okay, thank you. Oh, what I would love to use this for. Well, thank you so much. I woke up this morning thinking about Women's Equality Day and thinking about, oh, it makes noise. Thinking about all of the amazing women that I've met through WIN. And I just wonder, what are you all thinking right now? I mean, you've been working on these issues for decades and decades. So I just want to say thank you, because I and some others in here stand on your shoulders. And a positive story. You know, I think as a journalist, so for those of you who don't know me, I host Your Call. It's a daily call-in show on KALW 91.7 FM from 10 to 11 a.m. And thank you. And we are completely independent, which allows us to really focus on the real issues and be honest about what we're facing. We don't have to pretend to be, quote, balanced, and I think we should get rid of that. We're facing too many things, so we need to be honest about what we're facing right now. I don't think we'd be in this situation if it weren't for the media giving a free platform for an entire year with no criticism. And we have to remember that, because after the election, the media said, how did we not get this? What happened? And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? On MSNBC every morning, he would go on the air for this little conversation with Joe and Mika, no difficult questions. And then all of a sudden, they turned into his #1 haters. What happened? Money, 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 right? Corporate media, it's all about profit. So I would encourage you, especially in the non-corporate media, if you hear something that you don't think is right, or if you think another angle needs to be taken, I really encourage you to send an email. Really get in touch with the media. They need to hear from you, because I still think they're doing a really bad job. I mean, we can talk about this during this discussion, but what we're facing right now, obviously, as you know, is very, very serious. When you look at the healthcare bill, for example, the theme was, well, will the Democrats work with the Republicans on this healthcare bill? Which the story should have been, the Koch brothers had a meeting 2 months ago and said their top 2 issues were taxes and healthcare. And they said, if you don't pass it, we're gonna close the piggy bank. So it's not about working together, it's about the Republicans wanting to get rid of the bill, period. And so I just feel that we need so much more honesty in the media. And I really encourage you to support independent media where you can hear that honesty, and drop an email, say something when you hear a frame that doesn't make sense. And we're hearing that nonstop. So I know we're gonna talk about these issues, I'll keep it brief, but I just wanna thank all of the women in the room for all the work that you've done. I mean, I think about what happened in Texas recently, where they just passed a bill that will require women to buy insurance if they think they might have an abortion. What is this? In Chile, they're relaxing their abortion laws. Whereas in the United States, we're going backwards. And I know that all of you have fought for these rights for so long. So I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've done and all the work that you continue to do. And I hear people in my generation saying, it's time to move to New Zealand. And I say, no, no, no. These women worked really hard. We have to stay, and we have to work just as hard. So I think this is for you all. I almost want to apologize for my colleagues doing a bad job. Seriously, I mean, we're talking about 70,000 votes, right? Non-stop, 24/7 media coverage. So I want to just thank all of you for all the work you've done. Thank you.
So I think that's also a great call to action, that not to be complacent, but make sure that if you hear something on the radio, see something on television, to make sure that you're reacting, you're sending an email, you're responding or tweeting. Maybe we just also need to do more of that, since that's where young people are getting their social media or news these days. And I think that's also, thank you for acknowledging the work that all the women in this room have been doing for so many years, that you would think that we would have settled these issues of equity, and that women have a right to do what they want with their bodies, to make sure that they make all the health decisions based on what's good for them personally and not what's good for somebody in a suit in Washington, D.C. or Sacramento or someplace else. So I think these are very great call to action for us to be more vigilant than ever.